Hello world, Russellpuff here for a predictions video for Hogwarts Legacy. I am going to be starting off, I'm going to be kicking off, I should probably say, my Hogwarts Legacy Let's Play in 6 days as of this recording. February 7th, I'll be starting my Let's Play on PC for the game. I'm excited, I'm really excited to finally say I'm going to be doing this. I've been wanting to do a Let's Play of really any video game for a while. I've just never really sat down and actually dedicated myself to it, so this will be the first time ever for me to fully dedicate myself to playing Hogwarts Legacy on a Let's Play. This will be the first time I've attempted a game where I've never played it before as well, because most games I've tried to do, usually they are games I've already played, so to me they're not really that exciting to do. Maybe in the future I might do that just because I want to tackle them at a different angle or perspective maybe, but for now what I really want to do is just do a simple Let's Play of Hogwarts Legacy, because I've been waiting on this game really since 2009, back when Harry Potter and Half-Blood Prince came out on the PS2. That was one of my favorite games. I played Chamber, I played Prisoner, played Goblet. Goblet's not really that good, but I played it. Order of Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince, which those four, Chamber, Prisoner, Order, and Prince, those are my personal favorites out of the series because they had the open world aspect to them. And to me, that's just what I really wanted from a Harry Potter game forever. Other than a newer, modern-day Quidditch video game that's dedicated to Quidditch, that'd be great. But for me, I just really wanted to get into an RPG-style, single-player Harry Potter open-world game set at Hogwarts, Wizarding World, just something. And we're getting this with Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm so excited. I'm just really excited. So I just felt like I've got to record my own experience and how the game is going to play, and like with me playing it, I think it'll be really fun to go back and watch that years later on and be like, I remember that, because I'm a very nostalgic guy and I like to think back on my favorite memories as a kid. But you know, as you get older, those memories, you know, they're not as easy to remember, especially when you get more stuff going on in your life, so it's really hard to get things going. So for me, I want to record my experience for the first time, and you know, if this takes off, this is great, but for me this is kind of a personal thing for me, just because of how excited I am and how much I am going to cherish playing this game. But this video is all about predictions, so I want to start this off not really with like the overall story. I've got a big idea for that, I'll get to that here later, but my first prediction is that I think I may already know who is going to be our Draco Malfoy, our school nemesis. Now, me being a storyteller myself, when I was writing my books, Capital Street Academy, I was kind of sitting there thinking, well, I gotta have a school rival, just like how Harry had Draco. So my main character, Rebecca, had Vanessa for Capital Street Academy. For me, I'm thinking that Hogwarts Legacy's gotta have that same formula. You gotta have that school bully that's kind of getting in the way of your plans and whatnot. Nobody really likes this person either. I think we've got this. Now, Hogwarts Mystery, the mobile game, it's got its own Draco with Marilla Snide, so if anyone who's played a mobile game, you know who that is. So I think for this game, it is Samantha Dale. And you're probably wondering, who is Samantha Dale? Well, if you go and watch some of the playthroughs that some of the content creators got to go and do, there's a character that gets mentioned twice named Samantha Dale. So Samantha is first mentioned by Leander Pruitt, who is the guy that is the Gryffindor who is playing Summoner's Court, that minigame. It's kind of like a shuffleboard variant. He mentions that he's like kind of the bottom rung of Summoner's Court, and essentially he is going on about how he got beat by Samantha Dale like 6 or 7 times in a row, and everybody in that group assumed that if the player character can't defeat Leander, then there's no point in being a challenge. When I first saw that, I was like, okay, these guys are a bunch of guys and gals who think that they're just better than anyone. So that kind of got me going already. But when you go in later into the gameplay and you go in right outside the library, you have Lenora is the one who is going with the moth frames puzzle, trying to solve that. She mentions that Samantha, she doesn't say Samantha Dale, but she does say Samantha thinks she is potty, which I had to look up and make sure I understood what that word was basically crazy. Thought she was crazy. So you already got people like Samantha once again coming up where she's dismissive of people's talents and abilities. So for me, I'm thinking that she is our nemesis. She will be our nemesis throughout the story. To me, it seems like she's kind of the person who's in our 5th year group that's like, hey, I'm going to run things around here. And I think we're going to kind of mess those plans up for her in some way by her challenging us. She's going to probably walk up to like, hey, new kid, anything that happens around here goes through me. You're not going to mess with Samantha Dale because I am the baddest witch around here. So that's how I think that's going to go. So that's my first prediction, just based off of that only. Getting into the big prediction that I want to talk about, which is kind of how the story is going to go. Now, this is kind of based off of a lot of other content creators out there, theories. Of course, everyone who's been following the community knows Expecto Go is huge on the Merlin and Morgana theories, the self-proclaimed Merlin conspiracy theorist. So I've been on that train for a while, pretty much since the PlayStation State of Play trailer came out. As soon as Merlin got mentioned and Merlin was in the background of the History of Magic classroom, and then talking about the puzzles that might have been made by Merlin when he was a student at Hogwarts. Like, when I heard those two lines, my first thought was Merlin plays a big role in the story. Throughout the trailers, as you watch other players break down the other content creators breaking down trailers, like Life Wants a Wizard, who's mentioned a lot of moon phase, celestial references on like the stained glass windows throughout the castle. There's a lot of references to Merlin and Morgana through that. For all those references that the content creators have pointed out, there's going to be a big deal with Merlin, and I think everyone kind of knows the story of that already. But the way I see the story playing out, and hear me out, I think that this is going to be a trilogy game. I think everyone's kind of figured that out, that it's probably going to be a trilogy because you start from your 5th year. Well, obviously you're going to play your 6th and 7th year as the 2nd and 3rd game perhaps. I'm looking at it as a Mass Effect type of story. If you've never played Mass Effect, essentially you have these Reapers who are kind of the overarching enemy throughout the entire series of games. But you do have these smaller individual antagonists throughout the story, such as the first game, for example. You have your Saren, who's your main antagonist for that game, but when you get towards the end of the game, you realize the Reapers are actually the puppet master, if you will, for everything that's going on. And I think that's kind of how we've got Hogwarts Legacy's first game set up. Now, I don't know anything about the story. I have not watched any spoilers or anything like that people have been posting online. The only things I've really watched are official trailers from this point forward and watched speculative videos from the content creators out there. I'm thinking that Ranrock is our Saren, or maybe our Rookwood, or maybe Rookwood is our Saren. One of those two is our Saren. As the game goes on, we realize that Merlin or Morgana is really the main bad guy of the overarching series. I think Morgana is going to be that main villain for this game series, and she may play a role in it, and we kind of work with Merlin somehow to get into it. And I think it kind of, I'm not going to say it's going to copy the same exact styling as what Mass Effect did, but I do think it's going to be something similar to it. There's going to be a lot going on with that. I think that'd be really fun. As a Mass Effect fan myself, Mass Effect is actually my second favorite series out there. My second biggest fandom that I'm involved in, other than Harry Potter. I see the similarities to it just because I'm such a huge Mass Effect fan. That's kind of been my theory on how it works. I expect to be wrong because I've been kind of developing another theory as the recent launch trailer has come out, and that I'm kind of starting to think that Rookwood plays a bigger role. And this kind of leads into my second theory, second prediction, that Rookwood plays a bigger role than what we were led to believe. From the State of Play trailer, we first thought that Ranrock was kind of our main villain. He may still appear so, but the launch trailer makes me think that Rookwood plays a bigger role, and that he is more of the puppet master than Ranrock would be. Now, if you watched any of the gameplay showcases from the content creators when they played what I'm calling the Horntail Hall mission, you can hear some goblins having a conversation inside Horntail Hall, where they're basically going about talking how they don't like working with the Dark Wizards, Rookwood's guys, but they see it as a necessary evil, basically, to get to their goals. And the way I believe it worked out originally was that Rookwood was the one who approached Ranrock because Rookwood sees something that he can take advantage of. to get what he wants, whether it's coming after us, which it seems like he's more interested in coming after us than Ranrock actually is. And then as you move forward, it seems like to me that over time, I think that Ranrock is only coming after us because Rookwood says this is the key to your rebellion. You can win your rebellion against the Ministry if you just get this child, and we'll get our goals met, you get yours goal met, we go our separate ways, and we all win, the Ministry falls, Hogwarts is gone, whatever. It's just something along those lines. I think as the story continues on though, Ranrock kind of sees through the BS of Rookwood, and we're actually going to see a situation where how we thought that Ranrock was a villain, but he was simply just a misunderstood character. And he's going to look at us as a misunderstood character as being, you know, his own bad guy. To him, we would be his bad guy. But as the story goes on, and at the peak of it, we'll probably see a point where Ranrock and us may actually team up against Rookwood because he's been playing Ranrock this whole time, making him think that the Ministry is really his issue, when it's really the issues come from Rookwood. So that's kind of the way I see it. Maybe you've seen stories before where like you have a good king and he's got good intentions, but he's got a really, really bad and evil kind of thinking advisor who is telling him what he needs to be doing, while he's manipulating things in the background, and eventually it kind of ruins the king's image and the people, and so the king gets overthrown and the advisor gets put into the throne. I think that's kind of something's happening here, but not completely like that. So that's my third prediction, how things could roll around through here. But that theory doesn't involve Morgana and Merlin, and I think you gotta throw them in there somehow. They just seem to be a much bigger deal than just being in the background, and that they're kind of like the result of why things have happened. I think they play a more active role than passive, and I don't know, I'm just really excited to see how this goes. I know I've been kind of rambling here a little bit. Those are kind of my three predictions for this game. I've got a couple more thoughts in my head about what things could be, but I'm going to leave them as they are for now because I do want to get into the game itself. I don't really want to think too much about predictions and theories because I really want to go into it as fresh as possible. Unfortunately, I've watched everything I possibly could official. I have seen one unofficial, what is official? I've seen one page of the art book, and I'll just say it was a map. That's kind of the only thing I've looked at. That was, for me, the only thing I really wanted to look at. I really wanted to see the map. I just want to see the map so badly. I know we've seen some art book or artwork in the State of Play trailer, but still, it's just like, I gotta see the map. The map looks so huge, and for anyone else who has seen that map, I'm hoping that's it. I'm hoping that's the size. I know it's a concept art map, but I just really hope that's the size. It's gotta be so much fun. If not, it's fine, because to me, when this game first got announced, I was only expecting it to be something similar to what Half-Blood Prince and Order of Phoenix had going on, where you kind of just explore Hogwarts, and the story only takes place within Hogwarts. That was what I thought it was going to be. As I say, a play trailer comes out, you're hearing everything, and it just sounds so good and whatnot. And you see, you can go to Hogsmeade, you can go to the Dark Forest, but we kind of maybe expected that to be in it. But the world beyond, I was not expecting that. So anything beyond Hogsmeade, Hogwarts, and the Dark Forest, the Forbidden Forest, like anything beyond those is a bonus to me, and I can't wait to go out there and just explore, collecting things. I don't even like playing as a collector in video games. I don't usually go around collecting things, but for me, I am just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Because the story, I mean, what is there, 100 plus side quests according to one article out there? That's going to be so much fun. And I don't care if all of them are involving collecting things, there's going to be interesting dialogue to follow with it. That's what excites me, is to learn about new characters, the world building that's going to be added on to this, expanding the wizarding world, which is something that I have always wanted to see. I mean, I know we had the Fantastic Beasts films out there, but to me, they just didn't really expand it like the way I wanted to. The first film, for me personally, I liked it, but after that, it was kind of like, more focused on Dumbledore and Grindelwald, and I'm like, I don't really want to see all that. I kind of wanted that story about Newt just going around finding Fantastic Beasts, and that was it. That's kind of all I wanted the series to be, was more about Newt going to different places, and we learn more about the wizarding world. Okay, I'm going off track. I'm going to be doing that quite a bit, I'm sure, moving forward. But anyways, that's my predictions. I wanted them out there before the game came out, and here we go. I'm going to end the video somehow or another. I don't have an outro, but thank you for watching, guys. If you want to see more, if you want to see that Let's Play, make sure you subscribe and like, and I will see you at Hogwarts Mischief managed. That's how it ended.